Final night of the North American leg of the Ides March. Sounds so good.
I hope you're not too tired.
I'm exhausted, but that's my fault because some of us decided to have fun because it was Zia's birthday yesterday and we stayed up a little late last night. And I've got pictures to prove it.
Always got to blame the drummer.
So it's the drummer's fault. Hey, Zia Udine, ladies and gentlemen, give it up. And Mr. Tim Turnier over here. Hi, Myles. Hi. So, yeah, thanks for coming. Appreciate you all taking the time to come watch a rock and roll extravaganza. You guys have any questions or any?
The gold top, is that new or vintage? Or
Yeah, it's new. It's actually one of the Murphy Age ones. Someone gave it to me as a gift recently, and I like it. Yeah,
it's awesome.
it's pretty. It's a pretty nice gift. So yeah, it's
saw
fun.
you in Kansas and in Philly, and you haven't played Ides of March, and that was the first single.
Yeah, so
Go
we tried. What happened there is we were playing it, but it's one of those songs that's so dense in the studio we just couldn't seem to recreate it as a three-piece. So we're like, yeah, let's hold off for a little bit, and we'll get it when we figure out how we're going to do. You know, I think the thing that I personally love about touring this way as a three-piece is it's like kind of a challenge because you have to reimagine the arrangements. Because obviously, if you get me in a studio. I'll go crazy with, I want to put this lap steel part here, I want to put a banjo here, and then when it would come, and I remember as I was demoing the songs, you know, the demos were all kind of like pretty much arranged, and I remember thinking like, oh, this is going to really be difficult to try and recreate as a three-piece. Sure.
So I was superly amazed at how quickly you produced the album, especially for a time that we really needed it. So what is your technique, or who is it about you that was able to produce something so profound in a quick amount of time and give us this?
I'm sorry, what?
So I know it's hard for me.
That's all right. I'm like half deaf, so I like read lips.
Me too, I got ringing in my ears. So I was really amazed at how quickly you produced an album or wrote music during this time that we all needed it. So what was it about you that was able to produce an album so quickly? Because you hear about legendary people like yourself, it takes them 2, 3, 4, maybe even longer years. What helped you in the process? What inspired you? What was it about you that gave us what we needed?
Oh, that's really kind. I mean, I think I needed it to kind of, in a weird way, I needed to do it for myself because I was like everybody, and we just didn't know what was going to happen. And so I've run to songs. I've used the creative process to kind of deal with my crap for the last 3 decades of my life. And so, it was interesting because the record did happen really quickly. There was just no shortage of material. There's no shortage of narratives to draw from. And oftentimes, I can sit around and write riffs and melodies and chord progressions all day long, and I love it. But the problem is always injecting what the lyric is going to be. What is the script? And sometimes that's what'll hold up the whole process. But I had more things to question and deal with, this time around than I normally do. So that's why it came together so quickly. And there are a lot of other songs that you haven't even heard from these these demos. So yeah, but I'm glad. It's nice to hear that you find a certain amount of solace in the songs. That's awesome.
All of them.
I just wanted to say the same thing. I just wanted to thank you for making music, and I think the album really, really is helping me get through
Oh,
this.
that's beautiful to hear.
Thank you.
That's beautiful. That's all I've got to offer at this point. It's just trying to be part of something that hopefully helps another human being. That's the beauty of art and music. I mean, they were playing records. Well, last night, we were sitting there playing this game where it was, which guilty pleasure song, right? And we did it for hours, and we started with Currently, and I won't admit what mine was, but
Oh, come on.
I still get jealous. Such a good hook. I mean, so I'll be honest with you. I was in LA. I think I was rehearsing with the Slash Camp, and I was driving the rental car over somewhere in Burbank, and I'm like, I hear that hook, and I'm just like, I pulled the car over. I was like, that's really good. So once in a while it happens. But yeah, but it was interesting because we were all, then it started to just go to songs that just made us feel good. You know, a lot of Supertramp, and I mean, we went on for hours, just songs that help us get through. You know, that's the power of music. So I'm gonna go to this, I'll come back here. He asked earlier.
Just a really, really simple question. The gentleman mentioned Ides of March, and you said that your demos are usually arranged. I can imagine this many years into it with your experience, your demos get pretty much arranged, but is there that scratch track that it's originally drawn out acoustic? Can you start with that? When something like Ides of March, where I can 100% understand what it means, it's very dense, and a three-piece is limited to some things that you create if you're not strategic. But I keep hoping that this lost tape is going to come out with all of these songs.
Another one.
Just you, and you didn't care about the arrangement. Like, that's the Ides of March I want to hear one day, when the one that you just wrote when it hit you, you know?
That's a good idea. Tim, we need to write this down. Yeah, they'll probably figure something like that, where like truthfully, I mean, it's all, I mean, they're all here. And that's where they start. In fact, I'm curious where we're at now. Sometimes I'm always kind of like, and these are ideas that what do we got here? Last I checked, we were at like recording number, new recording, that was, 935. So that, you know.
Any chance for a little tease?
Little tease?
If we sign a bunch of NDAs right now.
Have to sign, I would have to. We'd have to get to, that could be bad. Because you'd hear how bad it sounds in that Genesis idea. It's like, so
Your first solo album you never released.
Yeah.
maybe one day we'll figure out a use for that. It's a different record. It's very, Love Rain Down and Love Can Only Heal. Those are both from that, re-recorded. So that kind of gives you a vibe of some of those tunes, but some of them are more, I don't know, it's just kind of, the shelf life's expired for me, but it'll probably see the light of day eventually. We'll find some use for it. Yeah.
That box set.
Yeah, right. Sure.
I have a question. My daughter's 19. She's a guitar player. She's really into technique.
Mm-hmm.
How important it is for a young musician to just do improv and just play? Play with passion.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's all about the 10,000 hour rule. Just so you learn. You got to know the rules before you can break them. You learn all the fundamentals. You learn the theory. At least I did. You learn the theory and the technique, and then you spend the rest of the time communicating with that. Learning to talk with it. Improv is, for me, that's why I love doing this so much, because there's an element of improvisation where I just kind of like don't know what I'm going to do, and every night it's different, and I love that. So yeah, it's just repetition, good old over and over and over again. Yeah.
Show us the elephants.
Show you the elephants? That sounded kind of... I thought that was slang for something. I was like, okay, this guy's freaky.
I was wondering if there's any reason why you chose to use a barn owl, or were you just picking to use an owl in general?
Yeah, I like owls. But there is the Ides of March and the whole Roman thing, and that is a part of the aesthetic that kept kind of coming up. And we felt like it was just a really powerful image. And
Looks like Bubo.
yeah, it's definitely, I don't know, it's one of my favorites actually. I really am happy with that image.
Wisdom.
Is barn owl your favorite?
It's one of them. Yeah, I mean, I love. The only problem with owls is we have a fair amount where I live. They'll eat our dog. And they're
Yes.
brutal how they do it. They'll fly down and pick them up and then drop them. It's pretty, yeah.
I don't mean to be
Oh.
one more question.
Sure.
So thank you for your contribution to wildlife awareness. So speaking of the elephants, apparently you do more than just produce a video that leads to bring awareness to wildlife. What else do you do?
What else do I do besides the
Elephants, the amazing video that you produce in this day. Because,
Thank you.
Some of us wildlife, rescue videos during this time when we're at home. So we like to hear about celebrities like yourself and when they're contributing to wildlife. And your video was a great contribution.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, Slash and I both are real passionate about that. And it was actually I think that idea might have been my wife's. I think she was the one that brought that up, and then I told Slash. And, but yeah, we helped Brickleberry with the Dolphin Project. And when we, anytime someone says, hey, can you do a benefit, and you try to be part of it where you can, and, lend your, whatever your gift is, or whatever you can do to help raise awareness. But yeah, I do. I'm a big animal lover, as some of you know. Yeah, just trying to, then also have the Music Foundation and all that. So next goal will be to bridge the two, where we teach animals how to play music. Which our Future Song Foundation. All right.
Getting back to your demos, how often, or has it happened more times than not, that a track that you record in one of your demos you're so impassioned by it that it has to be in the final recording when you go actually record the song?
It happens frequently, yeah. That's why I learned to try and do decent demos, because oftentimes a vocal will be used, guitar part will be used. The beginning of 1,000 Words, that whole da-na-na, da-na, da-na, that's all from the demo. I think we overdubbed some, we added some things, but the bulk of that was just done on my home at the beginning, so yeah.
Thank you.
You got it. Hi.
So you're an amazing songwriter.
Oh, thank
you're
you.
obviously very prolific songwriter.
Thank you.
Have you always been able to write songs? I mean, is it something that you were good at as a kid, or?
Yeah, I kind of, it's funny, I didn't think anything of it, but I don't really play a keyboard instrument, but at our church when I was a kid, I'd go after the service and I'd just sit and play. It would be in the key of C, but I would always sit there and basically just compose, not knowing what I was doing.
What about lyrics?
No lyrics, just progressions and melodies. But I was just such a big fan of the Beatles and Paul McCartney, and like melody. That was always something I was drawn to. So, and then when I started playing guitar, I was writing songs more before I was actually playing other people's songs. I think I was just making horrible music.
Speaking of the lyrics, excuse me, I know. I have yours tattooed on my back. The lyrics in Blackbird.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, with March Travel and a bird. But anyway, how do you feel when you see your face tattooed on people?
Yeah, that's a trip. There's one guy who came to a meet and greet who had me on his neck. It's a good tattoo. But I was like, I hope you're not going to regret that.
By the way, if you see your tattoo artist getting arrested the day before on Instagram, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Yeah, in Las Vegas. And I'm like, oh my God, he's supposed to be doing my tattoo tomorrow. He rushed through it. Anyway, there he is.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. I mean, yeah.
I just my initials on there.
Next to the elephants? Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, look, that's such a commitment, and anytime an artist sees that somebody goes to that degree to forever, Wow. How long a drive is that?
7 hours.
Jeez.
We beat it.
Awesome.
And he's good at coming with me. He puts up with my all.
Well,
I told him I was going to get a tramp stamp, but I'm
You're awesome. You're awesome.
Any chance to hear Eden or White Flag tonight?
We haven't, we talked about that. We haven't played anything other than Mars on this run. Should we do Mars tonight?
No, I've already heard that.
You've already heard it.
Nice try, though.
No, In fact, don't play at all. Oh, maybe, who knows, maybe I'll try and play a chorus or something.
There you go.
We'll see if I can remember it. Did you already ask one?
Nope.
Do it. Go for it.
So from what I'm hearing you say, it sounds like you come up with the music first, or the riff or the melody hits you first before the lyric. So how do you find your way through the lyric to make the picture, make the painting happen?
Sometimes as you're singing, so if I start singing a melody, there'll be just like vowels that will kind of happen. And then you're like, what is that? I burned my toast this morning. So you're like, no, it's usually something, it's kind of like the universe just drops it on you. And then it's your, you know what it is? It's like the genesis of the melody is like the clay, right? And there's like, it's not totally there's something, you look at it and you go, oh, I can extract this out of that. And it will kind of inform you where it should go. It's fascinating how it works. Songwriting is it's kind of a trip, because it never feels like you're totally doing it on your own. It was already there, you're just, I think it's Keith Richards said, you're just kind of, or maybe Chris Robinson, or one of the guys said, you're just kind of pulling it from the universe and ultimately documenting it for the time being. So, yeah.
Thank you.
You got it.
And thank you. Your lyrics, the way that you paint the picture, they're stunning. There's such a visual to it, and the emotion and the feeling behind it.
Thank you.
It's pure artistry
I
at its
appreciate
finest.
that. Y'all are gonna give me a big head.
Continuing on the writing theme, listening to this album, I feel like when you were doing some of your licks, it seemed to be like you were pulling from almost like a different than just a minor pentatonic. You were kind of headed towards you have a lot of country licks, I think, in this song.
Or major pentatonic,
out of the major pentatonic. Did you purposely do that? Did you work on that?
It's funny because since I kind of rediscovered my love for the Telecaster, that's just where I go a lot now. I love the major pentatonic. I was a big Danny Gatton fan, and so, and who's actually from the area, if I'm not mistaken. And to me, he's one of the greatest guitar players there. I'll never be able to play like that, but I can listen to enough of it and then try to do my cheap imitation licks. So that's where a lot of those, a lot of that, not a lot, but the major pentatonic, and it's something about that whole vibe. People immediately tie in with country, so yeah.
This is a question we forgot to ask you last time. We saw you, the Queen in Delaware, and we were extremely pregnant. And we sat us on the stage surrounded by metal bars, right close to the front. And when we had the when we had the meet and greet, I meant to ask you a question about a Mayfield 4 song, if I may.
Sure.
And it's about the writing. I probably, the first, when I heard the CD right before this one, your solo CD, I heard the whole thing without listening to the music for the first time, because I was kind of concentrating so much lyrically. And I thought of a weird question, when you have the ability to write, do you prefer writing? It seems to me, as a humbly amateur musician, I'm watching you so easily write these stadium songs that you hear them almost acoustic and you're like, this is a stadium song. And I remember that from Don't Walk Away days, when you were obviously a long time ago, but that build up to me was just so crazy, and I feel that everything's Walter Bridge and all the stuff you write. So do you like the ballads more, or do you like the stadium rock more?
I think I'm kind of more of a crooner naturally. Like ballads come easier in a way. I have to kind of force myself to think more.
Yeah, exact opposite. That's the opposite of my perception. Watching movies.
All right, interesting. Yeah.
Effortless.
Yeah, no, the ballads are. I'm a softie at heart.
That's what I said.
Yeah. What was that commercial? It was like every rocker has a soft side. All right. Well, I think we have time for one more. Where's Chuck? Chuck? Are we? How are we doing for time? Time. Okay. Cool. All right. Who hasn't? All right.
So I'm also a big Tyler fan, so the fact that you two on stage together is just
Yeah, it's
wonderful.
amazing.
Any chance to see you with him truly resonates.
Oh, he kicked my ass on that. Yeah, he's amazing. He's. I mean, both him and Graham are just stellar talents, and it's just been such a fun tour because I feel like we're all on the same page musically, like what we like, and we'll share. You know, early on we discovered we had a mutual love of an artist named Chris Whitley, and so we geek out on that, and it's been really nice for me because you know, kind of in the scene that I've been a part of for most of my career in the last nearly 20 years. People are into like heavier music, and I like heavy music, but I also really gravitate towards a lot of American roots music, and so it's really cool talking shop with like-minded folks. Yeah, I think Tyler's amazing. So he's I think that rock and roll's in good hands for the future.
Is he going on?
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. It's going to be a fun night. So, well, thank you all for coming.
Woo! Thank you, Myles.
So, Chuck,